My beloved child, you did not open this by accident. When your eyes saw the words, "Open this and receive a surprise," something inside you stirred. It was not curiosity alone. It was a quiet hunger, a longing you have carried for so long that you almost stopped speaking about it. You have been walking through your days with brave steps and silent questions. You have smiled when you needed to, worked when you were tired, and held yourself together when no one noticed you were coming apart. And now you are here, standing before a door you did not even realize you were searching for. Open this and receive a surprise. You wonder what that could mean. Is it a change? A breakthrough? A blessing wrapped in shining paper? My child, the surprise is deeper than your expectations and gentler than your fears. Before you even pressed play, before your finger touched the screen, I was already here. I saw the heaviness in your heart. I saw the prayers you whispered at night when the room was dark and your thoughts were loud. I saw the courage it took for you to keep going when you felt unseen. This moment is not random. It is arranged. There are times in your life when I draw you close without you even knowing I am guiding your steps. This is one of those times. You thought you were simply curious, but I was calling you. You thought you were just passing time, but I was preparing an encounter. There is something inside this message that your soul hath been waiting to hear. You have been expecting something to change on the outside. You have been looking at circumstances, at people, at doors that seemed closed. You have wondered when the surprise would finally arrive. But what if I told you that the very act of opening your heart right now is the beginning of it? What if I told you that the surprise is already unfolding as you listen? My beloved child, you are standing at the edge of something sacred. Not loud, not dramatic, but powerful. Like the first light before sunrise, when the world is still quiet and hope begins to stretch across the sky. I am inviting you to open more than this message. I am inviting you to open your weary heart, to loosen your grip on fear, to let me step into the places you have kept guarded. There is urgency in this moment, not because you are running out of time, but because your heart hath been waiting long enough. You have carried questions long enough. You have carried disappointment long enough. Today I am asking you to open. Open your expectations. Open your hands. Open the door of trust once more. Because when you open what I place before you, you do not receive emptiness. You receive me. And that, my child, is the greatest surprise of all. My beloved child, there is something you must understand before we go any further. I have been watching your silent battles, not with distant eyes, not with cold observation, but with the tender attention of a father who never looks away. There were moments when you felt completely alone in your struggle, when the noise of your thoughts was louder than any voice around you. You wondered if anyone truly saw the weight you were carrying. I did. I saw it all. I saw the nights when sleep would not come easily, when your mind replayed old conversations and imagined uncertain futures. I saw the way your chest tightened with worry, even when you tried to pretend everything was fine. I saw the strength it took for you to show up the next day, to keep your responsibilities, to answer messages, to smile politely. People saw your surface. I saw your heart. You have fought battles no one applauded. Battles against fear that whispered you were not enough. Battles against memories that tried to pull you backward. Battles against doubt that made you question your worth and your direction. And even when you felt like you were losing, even when tears fell quietly and you asked, "Why is this so hard?" you were still standing. You were still breathing. You were still moving forward. That was not weakness, my child. That was courage. There were days when you felt numb, as if hope had dimmed to a small flicker. You went through the motions, but inside you felt tired. So tired. You asked yourself how much longer you could carry this unseen weight. You feared that if you told someone the full truth of how you felt, they might not understand. So you kept much of it inside. But nothing you held inside was hidden from me. Imagine a child learning to walk across a rocky path. From a distance it looks like small, ordinary steps. But up close each stone feels sharp, each movement uncertain. That is how your journey has been. To others, it may have looked manageable. But to you, every step required bravery. Every decision felt heavy. Every delay felt personal. And yet, I was beside you on that rocky path, steadying you even when you did not feel my hand. You thought some of your tears were wasted. They were not. I collected everyone. You thought some of your prayers went unheard because the answer did not come quickly. They were heard the moment they left your lips. Silence does not mean absence. Delay does not mean neglect. There were things moving behind the scenes, shaping you, strengthening you, protecting you in ways you could not yet see. My beloved child, even your breaking moments were not failures. When you felt overwhelmed, when you had to sit down and catch your breath, when you questioned everything, those were not signs that you were weak. They were signs that you are human. And I never asked you to carry your humanity alone. I asked you to bring it to me. There is something powerful about what you have endured quietly. It has carved depth into your heart. It has softened your compassion for others. It has taught you endurance. You may not see it yet, but the very battles you wish had never happened have shaped a strength inside you that cannot be easily shaken. You are not as fragile as you feared. You are not as lost as you sometimes believe. And here is the surprise unfolding even now. Through every silent battle, I was forming something new within you. Resilience, wisdom, a deeper trust. You thought you were simply surviving, but you were becoming more aware of your need for me, becoming more sensitive to my whisper, becoming stronger in ways that comfort alone could never produce. So breathe, my beloved child. You are not unseen. You are not forgotten. The chapters of struggle were never meant to define you. They were meant to refine you. And as you continue to open your heart in this moment, know this truth. The one who watched you through every silent battle is also the one who will lead you into peace. My beloved child, let us speak now about the door you have been afraid to open. You know the one. It stands quietly in the hallway of your heart. You pass by it often. Sometimes you glance at it and quickly look away. Sometimes you pretend it is not there at all. But you feel it. You know it waits. This door is not made of wood or metal. It is made of memories, risks, and unanswered questions. It is the door marked "What if?" What if I try again and fail? What if I trust and get hurt? What if I hope and am disappointed? So you leave it closed. You tell yourself it is safer that way. You convince yourself that avoiding pain is the same as protecting your peace. Imagine a long hallway at night. At the end of it, a single door stands with light seeping gently from underneath. The rest of the hallway is dim but familiar. You know every crack in the walls, every sound in the floorboards. It may not be perfect, but it is predictable. The light under that door, however, represents the unknown, and the unknown feels frightening. So you stay where it feels manageable, even if it feels small. My beloved child, I see how you hesitate. I see how past disappointments taught you to be careful. There were times you opened your heart before and felt it bruised. There were times you stepped forward in faith and felt the ground shake beneath you. So now you guard yourself. You analyze every opportunity. You question every promise. You tell yourself you are simply being wise. But wisdom does not mean shutting out possibility. Caution does not mean closing your heart completely. That door you fear is not a trap. It is not a test you are destined to fail. It is an invitation. You assume that if you open it, pain will rush out to meet you. But what if what waits on the other side is healing? What if the very place you avoid is the place where restoration begins? Sometimes the door you resist is the one that leads to freedom. Not because it guarantees a life without difficulty, but because it invites you into deeper trust. Let me tell you a story, my child. There was once a seed buried in the soil. Above the ground, the world seemed vast and bright. Beneath the soil, it was dark and tight. The seed could have remained closed, clinging to its shell for comfort. But in order to grow, it had to break open. That breaking was not destruction, it was transformation. If the seed had chosen safety over growth, it would have remained small forever. In the same way, the door before you may require you to break open old fears. It may ask you to release the belief that you must control every outcome. It may require you to trust me in ways that stretch you. But on the other side is not chaos. On the other side is expansion. You are not meant to live confined by yesterday's wounds. You are not meant to define your future by past hurt. The door you fear holds new strength, new perspective, new joy. And I do not stand behind it waiting to judge you. I stand there ready to embrace you. My beloved child, I would never push you toward harm. When I invite you to open a door, it is because I have already prepared what lies beyond it. I have gone before you. I have cleared what needs clearing. I have softened what once felt sharp. Your fear speaks loudly, but my presence is stronger. So do not rush, but do not retreat. Place your trembling hand on that door. Feel the warmth of the light beneath it. Breathe. And remember this. You are not opening it alone. I am with you in the hallway. I am with you at the threshold. And I am waiting on the other side, ready to surprise you with goodness you did not dare to imagine. My beloved child, as you stand before this open door, your heart still tries to guess what waits beyond it. You imagine dramatic change. You imagine instant answers. You imagine a sudden shift where every problem disappears and every question is resolved. You have learned to associate surprises with loud moments, with visible gifts, with things you can touch and measure. But the surprise I am giving you is not what you expect. You have been looking outward for relief. You thought the surprise would be a new opportunity, a restored relationship, a financial breakthrough, a clear sign written across the sky. And while I am able to move in all those ways, the first gift I place in your hands is something quieter. It is peace. Not the kind of peace that depends on everything going your way, but the kind that settles deep in your chest even when life is still uncertain. The kind that allows you to breathe again. The kind that softens your racing thoughts and steadies your heartbeat. This is the surprise. A calm you did not manufacture. A reassurance you did not earn. A strength rising gently from within. You thought I would change your circumstances first. Instead, I begin by changing your center. Because when your center is steady, circumstances lose their power to control you. When your heart knows it is held, fear loosens its grip. And when you understand that you are deeply loved, even unanswered questions stop feeling like threats. Imagine a storm over a vast sea. The waves crash loudly. The wind roars. From above, it looks chaotic. But far beneath the surface, the water is calm and undisturbed. The deep, steady place is what I am building inside you. The storm may still pass overhead for a time, but within you, there will be a stillness that does not break. My beloved child, this is why the surprise feels different from what you imagined. It does not shout. It whispers. It does not force its way in. It unfolds slowly like morning light spreading across a dark horizon. At first, you may not even recognize it. You may simply notice that you are reacting differently, that the things that once overwhelmed you no longer feel as heavy, that the fear that once paralyzed you now feels smaller. You might ask, is that all? But do not underestimate this gift. Peace is the foundation for everything else you are praying for. When peace fills you, clarity follows. When clarity comes, wise decisions grow. When wise decisions grow, new doors open naturally. The transformation begins inside and flows outward. You have been waiting for a miracle that changes your environment. I am giving you a miracle that changes your perspective. And perspective shifts everything. When you see yourself as loved, you stop chasing approval. When you see your challenges as temporary, you stop calling them permanent. When you see me as near, you stop feeling abandoned. The surprise is also this: you are stronger than you believed. Not because of your own effort alone, but because my presence within you is greater than the pressures around you. I am not simply handing you something external. I am awakening something internal. Courage, stability, quiet confidence. And here's another part of the surprise you did not expect. I am not disappointed in you for struggling. I am not frustrated with your questions. I am not weary of your doubts. My love has not decreased because of your fear. It has remained steady, constant, unshaken. The surprise is that you are accepted even in your unfinished state. To let go of the image you had of what this moment should look like. Release the expectation of fireworks and grand announcements. Instead, pay attention to the subtle shift happening within you right now. The slower breathing, the softer thoughts, the faint but growing sense that everything may not be as hopeless as it once seemed. That is me, my beloved child. That is the gift. And as you continue to open your heart, you will discover that the greatest surprises are not always loud. They are lasting. My beloved child, before your hand ever reached for this message, before your eyes ever saw these words, I was already whispering to you. You thought it was a random moment. You thought it was just another video, another passing curiosity in your day. But there are no accidents in the way I draw you close. I knew the exact second you would need this. I knew the quiet ache in your heart. I knew the timing. You may not remember it clearly, but there was a subtle nudge, a small pause in your scrolling, a gentle pull that said, "Open this." It did not shout. It did not demand. It simply lingered. That was me. I do not always move with thunder. Often, I move with a whisper, and my whispers are precise. There have been many times in your life when I guided you softly, when you felt an unexplainable urge to reach out to someone, when you felt a hesitation that kept you from walking into something harmful, when you sensed a quiet comfort in a moment that could have overwhelmed you. You called it instinct. You called it coincidence. But my beloved child, it was my hand. I speak in ways that honor your freedom. I do not force you. I invite you. And today, you responded to that invitation. That alone is beautiful to me. It shows that despite your doubts, despite your fatigue, your heart is still open. It still longs for something more. It still hopes, even when hope feels fragile. Let me tell you something you may not fully grasp yet. I have been arranging small details around you for longer than you realize. Conversations that shaped your thinking, delays that redirected your path, even disappointments that protected you from outcomes you could not see. What seemed ordinary was often intentional. What seemed inconvenient was often protective. Imagine a tapestry being woven. From the back, it looks like tangled threads crossing in confusing patterns. But from the front, it reveals a design. You have been living from the back of the tapestry, seeing knots and loose ends. I see the full picture, and I have been weaving even when you thought nothing was happening. When you felt alone in your decision-making, I was there. When you doubted whether you were choosing correctly, I was gently steering you. Even your mistakes have not disqualified you from my guidance. I am able to redirect. I am able to restore. Nothing in your story has been wasted. My beloved child, I whispered to you before you clicked because this is a turning point, even if it feels small. Not a turning point where everything changes instantly, but a shift in awareness. A realization that you are not navigating life by yourself. A recognition that my presence has been closer than you imagined. There were moments you thought I was silent. But silence does not mean absence. Sometimes my quietness was an invitation for you to lean in, to grow in trust, to discover strength you did not know you had. I never withdrew my love. I never stepped away from your side. Even now, as you listen, you may feel a warmth in your spirit, a sense of being seen. That is not emotion alone. That is connection. That is the awareness of my nearness. And this awareness is part of the surprise. You searched for signs that I was moving. You looked for dramatic evidence. But the truest evidence has always been my steady whisper guiding your heart. I am not far. I am not hidden behind distance. I am intimately involved in the smallest details of your life. So do not dismiss this moment as ordinary. It is not. You are here because I called gently, and you responded. And as you continue to open your heart, you will begin to notice my whispers more clearly. They will guide you into peace, into wisdom, into the next steps prepared for you. My beloved child, the surprise is not only what I am giving you, it is also the realization that I have been guiding you all along. My beloved child, there is something that has weighed heavily on your heart, even if you rarely speak it out loud. It is the question of delay. The prayers you prayed months ago, perhaps years ago, that still seem unanswered. The doors you knocked on that did not open. The hopes you carried that appear to be suspended in silence. You have wondered why the surprise did not arrive sooner. You live in a world that moves quickly. Answers come fast. Messages are delivered instantly. Results are expected without waiting. So when something in your life takes time, it can feel like rejection. It can feel like I have forgotten you. But I have not forgotten. What you call delay, I often call preparation. Imagine a seed placed in the soil. Once it is covered, it disappears from sight. To the one who planted it, it may look like nothing is happening. Days pass. Rain falls. The surface of the ground looks unchanged. But beneath its soil, something powerful is unfolding. The seed is breaking open. Roots are forming. Strength is developing in secret. If the seed were pulled up too soon to check its progress, its growth would be damaged. My beloved child, some of the things you are waiting for are still taking root beneath the surface. If I had answered immediately, you might not have been ready to carry the weight of the blessing. If the door had opened too soon, You might have walked into it without the wisdom you now possess. Growth often requires hidden seasons. You have mistaken silence for absence. But silence can be protection. There are paths you wanted to walk that would have exhausted you. There are relationships you wanted restored that would have reopened wounds. There are opportunities you wished for that would have distracted you from deeper purpose. I see beyond the moment. I see the full journey. This does not mean your desires are wrong. It does not mean your dreams are foolish. It simply means that timing matters. A fruit picked too early is bitter. A fruit allowed to ripen becomes sweet and nourishing. I am more concerned with fullness than speed. There were times when you felt frustrated, when you said, "Why not now?" You compared your timeline to others. You saw people moving ahead, receiving what you have been asking for. You wondered if you had been overlooked. But my beloved child, your path is unique. Your story is not a copy of someone else's chapter. I am shaping something specific within you. During the delay, you have been learning patience. You have been learning resilience. You have been learning to trust even when evidence is limited. These lessons are not punishments. They are strengthening you. They are expanding your capacity. When the right moment arrives, you will stand in it with stability rather than fear. Let me tell you a quiet truth. Some of the delays you resented have already saved you from regret. Some of the closed doors you mourned have protected your peace. One day, you will look back and see that what felt like waiting was actually careful guidance. The gift wrapped in delay is depth. It is maturity. It is clarity about what truly matters. Quick answers often fade quickly, but what is built over time tends to endure. I am not interested in giving you something temporary that satisfies for a moment. I desire to give you something lasting that supports your future. So do not interpret waiting as neglect. Do not interpret delay as denial. Even now, pieces are aligning. Even now, adjustments are being made in ways you cannot yet perceive. Your role is not to force the outcome, but to remain open, steady, and trusting. My beloved child, I promise you this: when the surprise unfolds fully, you will understand why it did not come sooner, and you will see that every moment of waiting was gently shaping you for something far greater than you imagined. My beloved child, I see the tiredness in you, not just the kind that sleep can fix, but the deeper weariness that settles into your thoughts and rests behind your eyes. You have been strong for so long. You have carried responsibilities, expectations, and silent burdens without always knowing where to set them down. And there were moments when you whispered, "I cannot keep doing this." Yet somehow, you kept going. You learned how to function while exhausted. You learned how to answer questions when your heart felt empty. You learned how to show up even when your spirit felt thin. But strength without rest can make you feel brittle. And you have felt that brittleness. You have feared that one more disappointment, one more delay, one more unexpected problem might cause you to crack. Listen to me carefully, my beloved child. Your weariness is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you have been trying very hard. And now, something is shifting. The weight you have been carrying alone is about to be lifted in ways you may not yet recognize. Imagine a long night that seems endless. The hours stretch, and darkness feels heavy. But just before dawn, there is a subtle change in the air. The cold begins to soften. The silence feels different. Light has not fully arrived, but it is approaching. That is where you are now. You are in that quiet moment before sunrise. You thought you had to solve everything. You thought you had to hold every piece together. But I never asked you to carry what was never yours to control. Some of the heaviness you feel comes from trying to manage outcomes that are beyond your reach. When you release what you cannot control, your soul begins to breathe again. I am not disappointed in your exhaustion. I am compassionate toward it. You have been navigating uncertainty, trying to plan a future you cannot fully see. You have been managing emotions you do not always understand. That takes energy. That takes courage. And I honor that effort. But now, I am inviting you into rest. Not the rest of giving up, but the rest of trusting. There is a difference. Giving up says, nothing will change. Trusting says, I do not see the change yet, but I believe it is coming. Rest is not weakness. It is surrendering the pressure. My beloved child, your weariness is about to break because you are no longer carrying it alone. As you open your heart in this moment, something within you is loosening. The tension in your thoughts is easing. The tightness in your chest is softening. You may not feel it fully yet, but the process has begun. There will be renewed strength. Not a sudden rush of energy that fades quickly, but a steady resilience. You will wake up one morning and notice that the same problems no longer drain you as they once did. You will realize that you are responding with calm instead of panic. That is restoration. Think of a river that has been blocked by debris. Over time, the water slows and pressure builds. But when the obstruction is cleared, the flow returns naturally. Your heart is like that river. The stress, the fear, the overthinking, these have been the debris. As they are gently remove it, your inner life begins to flow freely again. You are not meant to live in constant survival mode. You are meant to live with steadiness and hope. And hope is rising again within you. Even now, you sense a small shift, a quiet reassurance that this season of exhaustion will not last forever. My beloved child, the surprise unfolding is this. The strength you thought you had lost is being renewed. Your spirit is being refreshed. Your mind is being steadied. And the dawn you have been waiting for is closer than you think. Hold on a little longer. Light is breaking through. My beloved child, there is something your heart has quietly longed for more than answers, more than breakthroughs, more than even relief from your struggles. You have longed to feel that you are not alone. You have longed to know that someone truly understands you without needing explanation. The surprise I bring you now is this. I am nearer than you have ever imagined. You have pictured me as distant at times, high above, watching from far away. You have wondered if your small, daily concerns were too insignificant for my attention. But I am not removed from your life. I am woven into it. I am present in the ordinary moments, in the pauses between your thoughts, in the quiet spaces you often overlook. When you wake in the morning and your mind begins to race, I am there. When you sit in silence and feel unsure of your next step, I am there. When laughter surprises you in the middle of a difficult season, I am there. My nearness is not dependent on your awareness. It is constant. Imagine a child walking through a crowded place, anxious and uncertain. The child may not always see the parent's hand, but it is there, guiding gently, protecting from harm. That is how I move in your life. You may not always feel me, but my presence does not fade with your emotions. My beloved child, you have asked for signs. You have asked for reassurance. And sometimes you expected grand displays, dramatic confirmations. But my nearness is often soft. It is the calm that steadies you when panic tries to rise. It is the thought that interrupts your self-criticism with unexpected kindness. It is the quiet strength that helps you choose patience instead of anger. There were times you thought you were abandoned. Times when prayers seemed to echo back unanswered. In those moments, you concluded that I must be far away. But the truth is this: I was closest in your lowest moments. When your heart felt fragile, I was holding it gently. When you felt unseen, I was watching with tenderness. When you felt weak, I was supporting you from within. You do not have to climb a mountain to find me. You do not have to reach a certain level of perfection. I am not waiting for you to become flawless before I draw near. I am near in your confusion. I am near in your doubts. I am near in your unfinished growth. Let me tell you something that may surprise you even more. I delight in simply being with you. Not because of what you achieve, not because of how strong you appear, but because you are mine. Just as a loving parent treasures the presence of their child, I treasure you. Your thoughts matter to me. Your questions matter. Even your frustrations matter. When you pause and take a deep breath, that stillness is an invitation. In that space you can sense me more clearly. You can begin to notice that you are not carrying your life by yourself. You are accompanied. Always. My beloved child, the world may sometimes feel loud and overwhelming. Voices compete for your attention. Expectations press against you. But beneath all that noise, my nearness remains steady. Like a quiet current beneath a rushing surface, I am constant. The surprise is not that I have suddenly arrived. The surprise is that I have never left, even when you doubted, even when you questioned, even when you wandered in uncertainty. My love did not shift. My presence did not withdraw. So as you continue to open your heart, let this truth settle deeply within you. You are not walking alone. I am beside you in every decision, every challenge, every small victory. And the more you become aware of my nearness, the more peace will grow inside you. My beloved child, there are wounds within you that no one else can see. They do not appear on your skin. They do not show up in photographs. But they live quietly in your thoughts, in your reactions, in the way you sometimes brace yourself for disappointment. These wounds were formed by words spoken carelessly, by trust that was broken, by moments when you felt rejected or overlooked. And though time has passed, parts of you still carry the imprint. You have learned how to function with these hidden places. You have adapted. You have built protective walls. You have told yourself that you are fine. And in many ways, you are strong. But strength does not mean you were never hurt. It simply means you kept going despite it. What you may not realize, my beloved child, is that healing has already begun in areas you cannot yet measure. Just as roots grow beneath the soil long before green shoots appear above ground, restoration is happening quietly inside you. You do not always feel it. You do not always see immediate change. But I am working beneath the surface. There are memories that once triggered sharp pain, and now they sting a little less. There are situations that once would have overwhelmed you, and now you handle them with slightly more calm. You might dismiss these shifts as coincidence or maturity, but they are signs of healing. Subtle, steady, real. Imagine a bone that has been fractured. When it first breaks, the pain is intense. Movement is difficult. Over time, the body begins to repair itself. New tissue forms. Strength slowly returns. But during that process, the bone may feel tender and may ache in certain weather. Healing is not always dramatic. It is gradual. Your heart heals in similar ways. You have asked me to take away the pain instantly. You have wished to forget certain chapters entirely. But complete erasure is not always the answer. Instead, I transform the meaning of what happened. I reshape how it defines you. What once felt like proof that you were unworthy becomes evidence that you survived. What once made you feel small becomes part of the story that reveals your resilience. My beloved child, I am healing the way you see yourself. There were lies planted in your mind, whispers that you were not enough, that you were too much, that you were behind, that you were unlovable. These lies took root in moments of vulnerability. But truth is stronger than falsehood, and truth is rising within you. I am also healing your trust. It may feel fragile. You may hesitate to open up fully. That is understandable. But as you continue to experience my steady presence, you will find that trust can grow again. Not naive trust, but wise trust. Not blind hope, but grounded confidence. Some of your healing will show in unexpected ways. You will find yourself forgiving someone you once resented deeply. You will notice that certain fears no longer control your decisions. You will begin to speak to yourself with more kindness. These are signs that restoration is unfolding. Do not rush this process. Do not criticize yourself for not being completely healed yet. Even growth that seems slow is still growth. Every small step forward matters. Every moment you choose hope over despair strengthens you. My beloved child, I am attentive to every hidden scar. Nothing about you is overlooked. I am not intimidated by your broken places. I am gentle with them. I know how to mend what feels shattered. I know how to bring light into corners you avoid. Trust that even when you cannot see visible change, something sacred is happening within you. Your heart is becoming softer yet stronger. Your spirit is becoming steadier. And the surprise you are receiving is not only peace and nearness, but healing that runs deeper than you ever thought possible. My beloved child, there is coming a quiet moment in your life when you will look back and whisper, "It was you all along." Not in fear, not in shock, but in awe. You will begin to see the threads that once felt disconnected weaving together into something meaningful. What seemed random will reveal intention. What seemed chaotic will reveal design. Right now, you may only see fragments. A door that closed, a relationship that shifted, an opportunity that never arrived, a detour you did not plan. At the time, each piece felt confusing. You asked questions that seemed to echo without reply. But one day, clarity will settle over those memories like morning light, and you will recognize my fingerprints on every chapter. You will see that the closed door spared you from walking into something that would have drained your joy. You will understand that the delay protected you from stepping forward unprepared. You will realize that even the heartbreak shaped compassion in you that you now offer to others. Nothing was wasted. Not one tear. Not one prayer. Not one uncertain step. Imagine standing on a mountain after a long climb. While you were on the path, all you saw were rocks, steep turns, and obstacles. You questioned why the journey was so difficult. But from the summit, the view changes everything. You see how each twist in the trail led you upward. You see how the struggle built strength in your legs and endurance in your spirit. In that higher place, frustration turns into gratitude. My beloved child, that realization is part of your surprise. The awakening that I was never absent, that I was guiding you through conversations you thought were ordinary, that I was steering you away from dangers you never detected, that I was holding you steady in moments you believed you were barely surviving. There were times you credited yourself entirely for making it through. And yes, you showed courage. Yes, you made choices. But behind your effort was my sustaining grace. Behind your resilience was my quiet support. I was the steady foundation beneath your trembling feet. You will also see how certain desires change over time. Prayers you once insisted upon softened into different requests. Dreams evolved. Priorities shifted. That was not failure. That was growth. I was shaping your heart, lining it with a deeper purpose. What you once thought you needed was replaced with something better suited to who you were becoming. And when that moment of realization fully arrives, it will not bring regret. It will bring peace. You will not say, "Why did it take so long?" You will say, "Now I understand." You will recognize that even the waiting seasons were filled with my presence. My beloved child, as this awareness grows in you, let it deepen your trust. Let it calm your current uncertainties. The same hand that guided you before is guiding you now. The same love that sustained you then is sustaining you in this moment. You are not navigating new terrain alone. One day, you will tell your story differently. Not as a tale of random struggle, but as a testimony of quiet guidance. And your heart will rest in the truth that I was with you through every beginning and every ending. And now, my beloved child, as you sense how I have been moving in your life all along, understand this. This message you are hearing is part of that movement. When you choose to support this channel through Super Thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link and QR code placed in the description, you are not merely giving money. You are sowing seed into hearts that are still wandering in darkness. I say to you, give, and it shall be given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and I speak this over your life as a living promise. When you release your gift, you become a river through which my light flows to someone who is crying out in secret tonight. This is your moment of obedience, your moment to answer my whisper with action. Do not let hesitation silence generosity. As you give, I breathe blessing over your home, over your work, over your future harvest. What you place into my hands multiplies beyond what you can imagine. Step forward now, toe boldly, and watch how I open the windows of heaven over you. My beloved child, something new is rising within you. It may not look dramatic from the outside. Others may not immediately notice it. But inside, a quiet strength is forming. Not the kind that shouts or demands attention, but the kind that stands firm even when winds begin to blow. This is the surprise of new strength. You once believed strength meant never feeling fear. You thought it meant always having the right answer, always being certain, always appearing confident. But true strength is gentler and deeper than that. True strength is the ability to keep moving forward even when you feel uncertain. It is the courage to try again after disappointment. It is the willingness to trust when you cannot see the entire path. Think about how far you have already come. There were days you thought you would not make it through. Moments when you felt overwhelmed by emotion, by responsibility, by confusion. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still seeking light. That is not accidental. That is resilience, being built in you. My beloved child, the strength growing in you now is different from what you relied on before. Before, you often leaned on your own effort alone. You pushed yourself harder. You told yourself to be tougher. You tried to silence your fears by sheer will. But this new strength is rooted in trust. It is anchored in the understanding that you are supported. Imagine a tree planted beside a steady stream. When storms come, the branches may bend, but the roots remain secure because they are nourished constantly. You are becoming like that tree. The nourishment of my presence is strengthening your roots. You may still face challenges, but you will not be uprooted so easily. There will be situations soon where you will notice this new strength. A conversation that once would have intimidated you will feel manageable. A problem that once would have caused panic will be met with calm thought. You will pause instead of react. You will breathe instead of spiral. And afterward, you may even surprise yourself. Do not confuse gentleness with weakness. Your softness is not a flaw. Your sensitivity is not a burden. These qualities, when grounded in my love, become powerful. They allow you to respond with compassion rather than anger. They allow you to stand firm without becoming hard. My beloved child, you are learning that strength does not require you to carry everything alone. It allows you to say, "I need help." It allows you to rest when you are tired. It allows you to admit uncertainty without feeling ashamed. That kind of honesty creates stability. There is also a courage forming in you that is quiet, but undeniable. It is the courage to release old patterns, the courage to forgive, the courage to set boundaries, the courage to believe that your future can be brighter than your past. This courage is not forced. It is unfolding naturally as your trust deepens. Remember the seed that had to break open to grow. You are now seeing the first signs of that growth above the surface. A breaking did not destroy you. It prepared you. The waiting did not weaken you. It matured you. The struggles did not define you. They refined you. My beloved child, you are stronger than you think, not because you have mastered every situation, but because you have learned to lean into my presence. And as you continue to walk forward, this strength will become steady and dependable. You will no longer question your ability to endure. You will know that whatever comes, you are not facing it alone. This is part of your surprise. Not sudden perfection, not instant resolution, but a deep, growing strength that will carry you into the next chapter with confidence and peace. My beloved child, there have been moments when you felt stuck, as if you were pushing forward with all your effort, yet something invisible stood in your way. You questioned yourself. You wondered if you lacked talent, discipline, or faith. You examined every flaw, searching for the reason progress felt slow. But what you could not see was that some of the obstacles were never meant to be conquered by force. They were meant to be removed by my hand. Not every closed door is a rejection. Not every delay is resistance. Sometimes what feels like blockage is protection. You have stood before opportunities that looked promising on the surface, only to watch them slip away. You mourned them. You replayed them in your mind. You imagined how different life might be if they had worked out. But I saw what you could not see. I saw the weight those paths would have placed on your shoulders. I saw the hidden cost. Imagine walking through a narrow passage filled with debris. You strain to push large stones aside, believing they are hindering your destiny. But what if some of those stones were shielding you from something harmful beyond them? What if the path you were trying to force open would have led you into deeper exhaustion? My beloved child, sometimes I block what would break you. Now, however, there are other obstacles that truly have stood too long. Old fears, lingering doubts, patterns of thinking that limit your courage. These are not protections, they are remnants of survival, and I am gently clearing them away. Not all at once, not with violence, but steadily, intentionally. You may notice it in small shifts. A thought that once discouraged you now feels weaker. A habit that once controlled your reactions now feels easier to resist. A voice of self-criticism that once spoke loudly now begins to fade. This is part of my work within you. I am not only opening new doors, I am removing the internal barriers that kept you from walking through them confidently. My beloved child, some blocks were built from disappointment. After being hurt, you constructed walls to prevent future pain. Those walls served a purpose for a season. They gave you time to heal. But now they are limiting your growth. I am helping you dismantle them gently, piece by piece, so you can move freely again. Other blocks came from comparison. You measured your journey against someone else's timeline. You assumed you were behind because their progress seemed faster. But comparison clouds vision. It creates unnecessary pressure. I am clearing that from your sight so you can see your own path clearly, without distortion. There are also relationships and environments that have subtly drained you. You may have tolerated dynamics that diminished your confidence or distracted you from your purpose. In this season, you may notice certain shifts. Conversations may change. Priorities may realign. Some connections may naturally loosen. Do not interpret this as loss alone. It is also release. When a gardener prunes a tree, it may appear harsh at first. Branches are cut away. Leaves fall. But pruning allows healthier growth and directs energy to the strongest parts of the tree. In the same way, I am pruning what no longer serves your becoming. What remains will be stronger, more fruitful, more aligned. My beloved child, you do not have to fight every battle alone. You do not have to analyze every obstacle endlessly. Trust that I am actively working to remove what stands in the way of your peace and progress. Even when you cannot see visible change, shifts are happening. Soon, you will walk forward and realize that the path feels lighter. Decisions will feel clearer. Opportunities will align more naturally. And you will understand that what once felt like resistance was either protection or preparation. I am not holding you back. I am positioning you. And as I remove what has been blocking you, you will step into spaces that feel open, steady, and right for who you are becoming. My beloved child, there is a kind of peace that does not make sense to the outside world. It does not arrive because every problem has disappeared. It does not depend on perfect circumstances or guaranteed outcomes. It rises quietly, almost mysteriously, in the middle of uncertainty. This is the peace I am placing within you now. You once believed peace would come after everything was resolved, after the bills were paid, after relationships were restored, after the future was secured. You told yourself, when this is fixed, then I will rest. But peace that depends on conditions is fragile. It fades as soon as something shifts. What I am giving you is different. It is rooted in trust, not control. Imagine standing in the center of a storm. Winds move around you. Clouds gather overhead. Yet beneath your feet, the ground feels solid. The storm has not vanished, but you are no longer trembling. That steadiness is unexpected. You pause and wonder, why am I not panicking the way I used to? My beloved child, that is my peace at work. This peace does not erase your responsibility. It does not ignore your challenges. Instead, it changes how you carry them. What once felt overwhelming now feels manageable. What once filled your thoughts with fear now meets a calmer response. You begin to realize that you do not need to solve everything immediately. You can take one step at a time. There will be moments soon when you notice this shift clearly. A conversation that once would have triggered anxiety will leave you surprisingly composed. A delay that once would have frustrated you will be met with patience. A situation that once caused sleepless nights will allow you to rest. You may not even recognize it at first, but others might notice the change in you. My beloved child, this peace is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is confidence that does not need to prove itself. It is the quiet assurance that you are supported. When you know you are not alone, panic loses its urgency. You have spent so much time preparing for the worst. You anticipated disappointment. You rehearsed negative outcomes in your mind to protect yourself from surprise. But this habit has kept your body in tension. Now, as peace grows within you, the tension begins to release. Your shoulders soften. Your breathing deepens. Your thoughts slow down. There may still be days when worry tries to return. Peace does not mean you will never feel anxious again. It means anxiety will no longer rule you. When fear knocks, you will respond differently. Instead of spiraling, you will pause. Instead of assuming disaster, you will remember my presence. This unexpected peace also allows you to enjoy simple moments again. A quiet morning, a small success, a kind word from someone you care about. You will begin to notice beauty that you once overlooked because your mind was too crowded with concern. Peace creates space for gratitude. My beloved child, the world may still feel uncertain. Views may still shift. Plans may still change. But within you, a foundation is forming. And from that foundation, clarity will grow. Wise decisions will flow more easily when your mind is not clouded by fear. Do not question this peace. Do not feel suspicious of it. Receive it. Let it settle deeply. It is not temporary comfort. It is enduring assurance. It is part of your surprise. You thought the greatest gift would be something external, something visible to others. But this inward calm is priceless. It cannot be stolen easily. It cannot be shaken by every change. It stays with you. My beloved child, allow this unexpected peace to guide you forward. Let it shape your reactions. Let it anchor your heart. And as you walk through the days ahead, you will discover that calm confidence is far more powerful than constant worry. My beloved child, there was a moment in your life when you truly believed it was over. Not necessarily your whole life, but a chapter you cared about deeply. A dream you had nurtured. A relationship you had invested in. A version of your future you had carefully imagined. When it slipped through your fingers, it felt final. You told yourself, this is the end. Endings have a way of sounding loud in the heart. They echo. They leave space that feels empty and cold. You may remember how quiet everything felt after that loss. How your thoughts replayed what happened. How you wondered what you could have done differently. You stood in the aftermath, unsure how to move forward. But my beloved child, what you called an ending was often a transition. What you thought was a closing door was sometimes a redirection. You were looking at one path disappearing, and you assumed there were no others. Yet beyond your line of sight, new paths were forming. Think about winter. When trees lose their leaves and the air grows cold, it can seem as though life has drained away. The landscape looks barren. Growth appears to have stopped. But beneath the surface, roots remain alive. Seeds rest in the soil, waiting for the right time. Winter is not death. It is preparation for spring. In the same way, the season you feared was final was often preparing you for renewal. It also reshaped your priorities. A disappointment refined your desires. That closed chapter taught you something about yourself you would not have learned otherwise. You may still carry a quiet sadness about it. That is natural. Letting go of what you once hoped for is not easy. I do not ask you to pretend it did not matter. It mattered. Your feelings were real. Your investment was genuine. But pain does not mean purpose was lost. Sometimes I allow certain things to end because they have completed their role in your story. Not because they were failures, but because they were steps. You were never meant to stay in that exact place forever. Growth requires movement. Imagine reading a book and becoming attached to a particular chapter. You love the setting. You love the characters in that moment. But if the story never moved forward, it would remain incomplete. Each chapter builds toward something larger. Even chapters filled with conflict serve the overall narrative. My beloved child, your story is still being written. What you believed was the conclusion was often the turning point. You could not see it then because you were standing too close to the page. But as time passes, perspective widens. You have already survived what you thought would break you. You have already walked through nights you believed would never end. And yet here you are, still open, still listening, still hoping. That alone is proof that the ending was not final. There's new growth forming, new connections waiting, new clarity emerging. You are not stuck in yesterday's loss. You are moving toward tomorrow's possibility. Let this truth settle into your heart. I am not finished with you. Your life is not defined by what ended. It is shaped by what continues. And what continues is my steady guidance, my unchanging love, my vision for your good. So release the belief that you missed your only chance. Release the fear that your best days are behind you. The chapter that closed did not cancel your future. It created space for something new. My beloved child, what felt like an end was often the beginning of a deeper, stronger, wiser version of you. And as you step forward, you will discover that spring always follows winter. My beloved child, there was a time when you moved with more certainty. You spoke your ideas more freely. You trusted your instincts more easily. But somewhere along the way, after disappointment, criticism, or failure, that confidence began to fade. You became more cautious, more hesitant. You started second-guessing yourself in ways you never had before. You may not even remember exactly when it shifted. It happened gradually. A comment that lingered longer than it should have. A mistake that embarrassed you. A rejection that made you question your value. Piece by piece, your confidence was chipped away. And instead of seeing those moments as part of growth, you began to see them as proof that you were not enough. My beloved child, I want you to hear this clearly. Your confidence was never meant to be rooted in perfection. It was meant to be rooted in identity. And your identity has never changed in my eyes. You are still capable. You are still gifted. You are still deeply valued. Confidence built only on success is fragile. It rises and falls with outcomes. But confidence rooted in love and purpose is steady. It does not collapse when one plan fails. It does not disappear when someone misunderstands you. That is the kind of confidence I am restoring within you now. Imagine a lamp that has grown dim because dust has settled over its surface. The light has not gone out. It has simply been covered. When the dust is gently wiped away, the brightness returns. In the same way, your confidence has not been destroyed. It has been obscured by doubt and disappointment. I am clearing that away. You may begin to notice small changes. You will speak up in moments where you once stayed silent. You will take a step forward even when uncertainty remains. You will trust your judgment instead of immediately questioning it. These are signs that restoration is unfolding. My beloved child, your past mistakes do not define your future ability. Every person grows through trial and error. What you once saw as failure was often learning in disguise. The very experiences that made you feel less capable have actually given you wisdom. There were voices that influenced your self-perception. Some were external. Some were internal. You repeated words to yourself that were never meant to define you. But I am gently replacing those words with truth. You are not inadequate. You are not behind. You are not destined to remain small. Confidence does not mean you will never feel fear again. It means you will not let fear dictate your decisions. It means you will move forward even when your voice trembles slightly. It means you will trust that you are supported. You may have compared yourself to others and concluded that they are more prepared, more talented, more deserving. But comparison distorts reality. You have your own path, your own strengths, your own timing. What belongs to you cannot be taken by another. My beloved child, I am restoring not only your confidence in your abilities, but your confidence in my guidance. When you trust that I am leading you, you will no longer feel the pressure to have every detail figured out. You will act with courage, knowing you are not alone. Think back to moments when you overcame challenges you once feared. You have done difficult things before. You have adapted. You have grown. That strength still lives in you. The surprise unfolding now includes this renewed assurance. You will stand taller, not because you are flawless, but because you are grounded. You will move forward, not because you control everything, but because you trust the one who walks beside you. My beloved child, your light was never extinguished. It was only waiting to shine again. And as your confidence is restored, you will begin to see yourself not through the lens of past doubt, but through the truth of who you truly are. My beloved child, there is a weight you have carried that you were never meant to hold forever. It is the weight of resentment, the quiet replaying of words that hurt you, the memory of betrayal, the sting of being misunderstood. Even if you rarely speak about it, it lingers in the background of your thoughts. You told yourself that holding on to the pain was a form of protection, that if you kept remembering, you would not be hurt again in the same way. You believed that forgiveness meant excusing what happened, or pretending it did not matter. So you tightened your grip on the memory, thinking it kept you safe. But my beloved child, what you held onto has been quietly draining you. Every time you replay the hurt, your body feels it again. Every time you rehearse the conversation in your mind, the wound opens slightly. Forgiveness is not about denying the pain. It is about releasing yourself from carrying it endlessly. Imagine holding a heavy stone in your hands. At first, it feels manageable. But the longer you carry it, the heavier it becomes. Your arms grow tired. Your shoulders ache. Yet you hesitate to set it down because you have grown used to its weight. Forgiveness is the moment you decide to put the stone down. Not because it was never heavy, but because you no longer wish to be burdened by it. You may say, but they do not deserve forgiveness. And perhaps they do not. Forgiveness is not about what they deserve. It is about what you deserve. You deserve peace. You deserve freedom from constant tension. You deserve to move forward without the past pulling at your heels. My beloved child, forgiving does not mean trusting blindly again. It does not mean allowing harm to continue. Boundaries can remain. Wisdom can remain. But bitterness does not have to remain. When you release bitterness, you make space for healing. There is a surprise hidden within forgiveness. It is not weakness. It is strength. It is the realization that you are no longer controlled by what happened. The person who hurt you no longer dictates your emotional state. You regain authority over your own heart. You may fear that if you forgive, the injustice will go unanswered. But I see every wrong. I understand every detail. You do not need to carry the role of judge. You are free to step out of that burden. Trust that justice and restoration are not yours to manage alone. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You replay your own mistakes. You criticize your past decisions. You wish you had known better. My beloved child, you are allowed to grow. You are allowed to learn. Holding on to guilt does not rewrite history. It only prolongs your pain. Imagine a room filled with stale air, windows closed tightly, the atmosphere heavy and unmoving. When you open a window, fresh air flows in. Forgiveness is that open window. It allows new life to enter where old pain once lingered. You do not have to force forgiveness overnight. It can begin as a quiet decision, a whisper in your heart. I choose to let this go. It may need to be repeated more than once. That is okay. Healing is often a process. My beloved child, as you release resentment, you will notice a lightness returning. Your thoughts will feel less crowded. Your heart will feel softer. You will respond differently in situations that once triggered anger. That is freedom. This is part of your surprise. Not revenge, not vindication, but liberation. The chains you did not realize you were wearing will fall away gently. You were not meant to live weighed down by yesterday's pain. You were meant to walk forward unburdened. And as you step into forgiveness, you will discover that peace grows stronger, and your heart becomes spacious enough to hold joy again. My beloved child, as you look toward your future, there are still questions in your heart. You wonder how certain situations will unfold. You think about decisions you must make. You imagine possibilities, both hopeful and fearful. The unknown can feel intimidating because you cannot see beyond the next few steps. But hear me clearly. I have already gone before you. You are not walking into empty space. You are not stepping into a future that is unprepared. Before you arrive at each new moment, I am already there. I have seen the conversations you will have. I have seen the opportunities that will arise. I have seen the challenges that will attempt to test you, and I have made provision. Imagine a parent preparing a path for a child who is learning to walk through unfamiliar terrain. The parent removes sharp objects, clears obstacles, and watches carefully from a distance. The child may not realize how much preparation has taken place, but it has. In the same way, I have been arranging circumstances ahead of you. There are connections forming even now that will bless you later. There are skills developing within you that will be needed in the next season. There are lessons you are learning today that will protect you tomorrow. Nothing about your growth is accidental. My beloved child, the future does not surprise me. While it may feel uncertain to you, it is known to me. That does not mean you will avoid every difficulty. Growth still requires movement. But it does mean that nothing you face will be beyond my awareness or my ability to guide you through it. You may fear making the wrong choice. You may worry about missing the perfect opportunity. But I am not fragile in my plans for you. Even when you hesitate, even when you choose imperfectly, I am able to redirect your steps. Your journey is not so delicate that one misstep will ruin everything. There were times in your past when you thought you had gone too far down the wrong path. Yet somehow, you were brought back to alignment. That was not coincidence. That was guidance. And the same guidance continues now. When you approach a new season, instead of bracing for disaster, begin to expect support. When you step into a new role, instead of assuming inadequacy, remember that preparation has already been taking place within you. You are not starting from nothing. You carry experience, wisdom, and resilience. My beloved child, I do not send you into unknown territory without provision. Just as I have sustained you through every chapter so far, I will sustain you through what comes next. There are doors that will open at the right time. There are relationships that will align naturally. There are answers that will become clear when you need them most. Think of a sunrise. Before you see the first light, the earth is already turning toward it. The shift happens before your eyes recognize it. In the same way, your life is already moving toward what is prepared for you, even if you cannot yet see it. Release the fear that you must control every detail of what lies ahead. Control creates tension. Trust creates peace. You are not responsible for orchestrating your entire future. You are responsible for taking the next faithful step. My beloved child, I have walked the road ahead. I know where it bends. I know where it widens. I know where it requires patience and where it allows speed. And I will not abandon you halfway. So step forward with confidence. Not because you have all the answers, but because the one who guides you has already prepared the way. The surprise continues to unfold, not only in this moment, but in the days you have yet to live. And you will discover, again and again, that you were never walking alone. My beloved child, there have been seasons when your mind felt crowded, thoughts overlapping, questions without answers, options pulling you in different directions. You have sat in silence trying to make sense of it all, only to feel more uncertain. Clarity seemed distant, like a horizon you could see but never reach. Yet now, something is shifting. Clarity does not always arrive with a loud announcement. It often comes quietly, like fog slowly lifting from a field in the early morning. At first, shapes begin to appear faintly. Then outlines grow sharper. Soon, what once looked confusing becomes understandable. This is the gift I am placing in your hands. You have been asking for signs, for confirmation, for a clear path forward. But sometimes clarity begins not with external direction, but with internal stillness. When your heart is at peace, your thoughts settle. When fear loosens its grip, your vision sharpens. The chaos you once felt was often amplified by anxiety. As peace has grown within you, so has discernment. My beloved child, you are beginning to see what truly matters. Certain distractions no longer hold the same power. Certain worries no longer seem as urgent. Your priorities are aligning. You are recognizing which voices to listen to and which to release. Imagine walking through a forest at dusk. The light is dim, and every shadow seems significant. You hesitate at every sound. But as the sun rises, you realize many of the shapes that frightened you were only harmless trees. In the same way, clarity reveals that not every concern deserves your energy. There are decisions ahead of you. Some may feel weighty, but you will notice that the answer becomes more evident than you expected. Not because every option is perfect, but because your heart recognizes what aligns with truth and growth. Clarity brings confidence without arrogance. It steadies your steps. You once feared making mistakes. That fear clouded your judgment. But now, as you understand that I am guiding you, the pressure lessens. You no longer need to analyze every possibility endlessly. You can move forward with thoughtful trust. My beloved child, clarity also brings honesty. You begin to see yourself more accurately, not through the harsh lens of criticism, but through the gentle lens of truth. You recognize your strengths without exaggeration. You acknowledge your weaknesses without shame. This balanced view creates wisdom. There may be relationships you now understand more clearly. Dynamics you once tolerated may reveal themselves as draining. Opportunities you once chased may no longer feel aligned. This is not confusion. It is awakening. Clarity does not mean you will know every detail of your future. It means you will know your next step. And often, that is all you need. One clear step taken with trust leads to the next. As your mind becomes less cluttered, creativity will return. Solutions you once struggled to find will emerge naturally. You will connect ideas more easily. You will speak with greater certainty. This is not because you suddenly became smarter. It is because your inner world has grown calmer. My beloved child, receive this gift with gratitude. Do not rush it. Let clarity unfold gently. When doubt tries to return, pause and breathe. Remember the peace that anchors you. The surprise you are receiving includes a clearer vision of your path. You are not lost in confusion. You are moving into understanding. And as light continues to rise within you, you will walk forward with steady confidence, knowing that each step is illuminated just enough for the journey ahead. My beloved child, there were moments when you doubted your own endurance. You questioned whether your heart could handle one more disappointment, one more delay, one more unexpected turn. You felt stretched thin, as if the smallest added weight might cause you to collapse. But look at you now. You are still here, still breathing, still seeking light. That alone is evidence of strength you did not fully recognize. You often measure strength by how little you feel. If something hurts you, you assume you are weak. If tears come easily, you think you are fragile. But sensitivity is not weakness. The fact that you feel deeply means your heart is alive. It means you care. And a living heart, even when wounded, can heal and grow stronger. Think of gold refined in fire. When it is first placed in the flame, impurities rise to the surface. The heat seems destructive, but the purpose is purification, not ruin. The gold does not lose its value in the fire, it reveals it. In the same way, the pressures you have faced have brought hidden strength to the surface. You did not choose every trial. Some arrived without warning. Some came from others' decisions. Some came from circumstances beyond your control. Yet each one stretched you. You adapted. You learned. You endured. You may not have done it perfectly, but you did it faithfully. My beloved child, your heart has been tested, and it has not broken beyond repair. Yes, it may have cracked in places. Yes, it may carry scars. But scars are proof of healing, not failure. They show that something once hurt deeply, and yet you survived. There were days you wanted to withdraw completely, to stop trying, to close yourself off from disappointment. But something within you kept a small flame burning. Even when hope felt faint, it did not disappear entirely. That flame is resilience. That flame is strength. You may look at others and assume they are stronger. You see their confidence, their progress, their composure. But you do not see their private battles. Everyone carries unseen challenges. Comparing your internal struggles to someone else's external appearance will always distort your perception. My beloved child, strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the decision to continue despite it. It is the willingness to forgive when resentment feels easier. It is the courage to trust when fear whispers doubt. It is the quiet resolve to wake up and try again. There will be future moments when you face uncertainty, but you will not enter them as the same person you were before. You carry experience now. You carry perspective. You carry the memory of surviving what once seemed impossible. Imagine a tree that has weathered many storms. Its trunk may be marked by wind and rain, but its roots have grown deeper because of those storms. When the next storm comes, it stands firmer. You are becoming like that tree. Each challenge has strengthened your foundation. Do not underestimate yourself. Do not speak to yourself as if you are fragile beyond recovery. You have proven otherwise. You are not defined by your lowest moments. You are shaped by how you rose from them. My beloved child, your heart is stronger than you think because it is not sustained by your effort alone. It is supported by my presence within you. When you feel weak, I am steady. When you feel uncertain, I am constant. The surprise unfolding in your life includes this revelation. You are capable of more than you imagined. Not because life will suddenly become easy, but because you now understand that you can endure and grow through whatever comes, and that knowledge will carry you forward with quiet confidence. My beloved child, there is something beautiful unfolding around you, even if you have not fully recognized it yet. You have become so accustomed to bracing yourself for difficulty that you sometimes forget to expect goodness. You prepare for rejection more easily than acceptance. You anticipate delay more quickly than breakthrough. But I am shifting that expectation within you. There is favor rising in your life. Favor does not mean a life without challenges. It does not mean every door will open instantly, or that every person will understand you. Favor means that my hand rests upon you in ways that create alignment, protection, and opportunity at the right time. It means that even when obstacles appear, they do not have the final word. Think about moments in your past when something worked out in ways you could not have planned. A conversation that led to an unexpected opportunity. A connection that opened a new path. A problem that resolved itself more smoothly than you feared. At the time, you may have called it luck. But my beloved child, it was favor. Favor often moves quietly. It does not always announce itself with grand signs. Sometimes it shows up as being in the right place at the right time. Sometimes it appears as a delay that positions you for something better. Sometimes it manifests as strength that carries you through a situation that could have overwhelmed you. You may feel unworthy of favor. You may think, why would good things align for me? But favor is not earned by perfection. It flows from love. And my love for you has never been conditional. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten in the crowd. There are doors ahead of you that will open naturally. Not because you forced them. Not because you exhausted yourself trying to prove your value. But because the timing will be right. Because preparation has already taken place within you. Because circumstances will align in ways that feel almost effortless. My beloved child, you do not need to chase every opportunity anxiously. What is meant for you will not pass you by without purpose. When something truly belongs in your life, it will remain steady. It will not require you to compromise your integrity or diminish your peace. Favor also shows itself in protection. There are things you have been spared from that you may never fully understand. Situations that could have harmed you but did not unfold. Decisions you almost made but reconsidered at the last moment. These were not accidents. They were shields. As you continue forward, begin to expect goodness without fear. Not with arrogance but with trust. When something positive happens, allow yourself to receive it without suspicion. You do not have to brace for loss immediately. You can enjoy the blessing fully. Imagine walking under open skies after a long season of clouds. The light feels unfamiliar at first. You may squint, unsure if it will last. But the sky is truly clear. The warmth is real. In the same way, when favor touches your life, let yourself feel it. My beloved child, the surprise of divine favor is not about elevating you above others. It is about aligning you with what supports your growth and purpose. It is about doors opening that lead you closer to who you are meant to become. Stay humble. Stay grateful. Stay aware. And watch how small shifts begin to accumulate into meaningful change. Conversations will align. Resources will appear. Opportunities will unfold. You are not moving into a season of struggle alone. You are stepping into a season where grace surrounds you in visible and invisible ways. And as you recognize this favor, your heart will grow more confident, knowing that you are walking under my attentive care. My beloved child, there are chapters in your life that you would erase if you could. Moments you wish had unfolded differently. Conversations you replay in your mind, imagining better outcomes. Choices you regret. Situations that left you wounded. You look at those pages and think they ruined the story. But I want you to see something deeper. I am rewriting what hurt you. When a painter makes a mistake on a canvas, it may seem as though the entire work is ruined. A wrong stroke of color, a line drawn out of place. But an experienced artist does not throw away the canvas. Instead, the mistake becomes part of a new layer. It is blended, reshaped, incorporated into something unexpected. What once looked flawed becomes depth. In the same way, the pain you endured is not the final version of your story. It is material I can transform. What hurt you will not have the last word. What embarrassed you will not define your identity. What disappointed you will not limit your future. You may still carry memories that feel heavy. There are names, places, and dates that stir emotion within you. That is natural. Healing does not erase memory instantly. But over time, the meaning of those memories shifts. What once triggered shame begins to inspire compassion. What once felt like failure begins to reveal resilience. My beloved child, you are not the same person you were when those painful moments happened. You have grown. You have learned. You have gained perspective. That growth changes the way those past events shape you. There were lies attached to your hurt. Lies that said you were not worthy. Lies that said you would never recover. Lies that said your best days were over. I am replacing those lies with truth. You are valued. You are capable of healing. Your future remains open. Imagine broken pieces of glass scattered on the ground. Sharp and painful. But in the hands of a skilled artist, those same pieces can be arranged into a mosaic that catches the light beautifully. The cracks do not disappear. They become part of the design. Your life is like that mosaic. What was shattered is being rearranged into something meaningful. You may wonder how pain can ever serve a purpose. Purpose does not justify harm, but it can emerge from it. The empathy you now carry allows you to understand others more deeply. The wisdom you gain prevents you from repeating harmful patterns. The strength you built prepares you for new opportunities. My beloved child, I am not limited by your past. I am not discouraged by your mistakes. I am not surprised by your detours. Every chapter, even the painful ones, can be woven into a larger story of redemption. There will come a time when you speak about your past with less heaviness and more clarity. You will say, "That was difficult, but it shaped me." You will no longer feel trapped by what happened. Instead, you will see how it contributed to who you are becoming. This rewriting does not happen overnight. It unfolds gradually. With each step you take toward forgiveness, with each moment you choose truth over shame, with each act of courage, the narrative shifts. My beloved child, trust that nothing in your life is beyond transformation. Even the chapters you wish had never existed can become testimonies of growth. The story is still being written, and I am the author who sees the ending from the beginning. What hurt you will not destroy you. It will be reshaped, refined, and redeemed. And one day, you will look at the mosaic of your life and realize that even the broken pieces were used to create something beautiful. My beloved child, there are days when you look at your life and quietly wonder, why now? Why this? Why me? The timing feels strange. The responsibilities feel heavy. The opportunities feel intimidating. You may even question whether you are truly ready for the season you are in. But hear me clearly. You were not placed in this moment by accident. You were chosen for this season. Chosen does not mean everything feels easy. Chosen does not mean you feel fully prepared. Often, being chosen means stepping into growth before you feel completely confident. It means trusting that what is within you is enough for what stands before you. Imagine a key crafted specifically for a particular lock. At first glance, it may look ordinary, but when placed into the right door, it fits perfectly. You are that key in this season. Your experiences, your personality, your lessons learned, your strengths and even your weaknesses, all of it has shaped you uniquely for where you are now. You may look around and think someone else would do better. You may compare yourself and feel smaller. But comparison blinds you to the truth of your calling. No one else carried your exact perspective, and no one else has walked your precise path. What you bring to this moment cannot be replaced. My beloved child, the struggles you endured were not random hardships. They were preparation. The patience you developed through waiting, the empathy you gained through pain, the resilience you built through challenge, all of it has equipped you for this chapter. Sometimes you think you need more time before stepping forward. More knowledge, more validation, more certainty. But growth often requires movement. If you waited until you felt completely ready, you might never begin. Readiness grows as you act in trust. You may not yet see the full impact of your presence in this season. Perhaps you are influencing others in ways you do not realize. A word you speak may encourage someone silently struggling. A decision you make may open doors not only for you, but for others who follow. Your obedience carries ripple effects. There will be moments when doubt tries to return. It will whisper that you are out of place, that you do not belong here, that you are unqualified. But doubt does not define truth. The truth is that you are here for a reason. You are not misplaced. You are positioned. Imagine standing at the edge of a field ready for planting. The soil has been prepared. The timing is right. The conditions are aligned. If you hesitate too long, the season may pass. But when you step forward and sow what you carry, growth begins. My beloved child, do not shrink in this season. Do not silence your voice out of fear. Do not hold back your gifts because you feel uncertain. What is inside you is meant to be expressed. Being chosen does not guarantee perfection. You may still stumble. You may still learn through trial. But even your missteps can be redirected. What matters is your willingness to step into the role placed before you. Trust that I would not position you here without providing what you need. Strength will rise when you require it. Wisdom will come as decisions unfold. Support will appear at the right moments. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not early. You are exactly where you need to be. This season, with all its complexity and opportunity, is part of your unfolding story. My beloved child, embrace this chapter. Walk into it with humility and courage. You were chosen not because you are flawless, but because you are becoming. And what you are becoming is precisely what this season requires. My beloved child, for a long time, joy felt distant to you. Not completely gone, but faint. Like a melody you once knew by heart, but could no longer fully remember. Responsibilities, worries, disappointments, they crowded your days and muted the brightness that once came more easily. You learned how to function without joy. You told yourself that maturity meant seriousness, that survival meant setting aside delight. But joy was never meant to disappear from your life. It may have grown quiet for a season, but it was not destroyed. It was waiting for space, waiting for healing, waiting for you to feel safe enough to let it rise again. You may have felt guilty for wanting joy while challenges remained. You thought it was irresponsible to smile when problems were unresolved. But joy does not deny reality. It coexists with it. It is not ignorance of difficulty. It is strength in the midst of it. Imagine a garden that went untended for a while. Weeds grew. Colors faded. It seemed lifeless. But beneath the soil, seeds remained alive. When care returns, when sunlight and water are given again, small green shoots begin to emerge. At first, they are easy to overlook. But slowly, color returns. That is what is happening in your heart. There will be small moments soon when you catch yourself smiling without forcing it. A laugh that comes unexpectedly. A sense of lightness in a conversation. A quiet contentment while doing something simple. These are signs of joy returning. My beloved child, you do not have to earn joy. It is not a reward for finishing every task perfectly. It is part of your design. You were created to experience goodness, to delight in beauty, to feel warmth and connection. You once worried that allowing joy would make you vulnerable, that if you felt happiness deeply, you might lose it just as deeply. But guarding yourself from joy does not protect you from pain. It only limits your experience of life. There are things around you right now that can stir joy gently. The sky at sunrise, the comfort of a familiar place, the sound of someone's laughter, the satisfaction of completing something small. As you become more aware, you will begin to notice these gifts again. Joy does not always arrive as excitement. Sometimes it comes as quiet gratitude, a sense of being present, a feeling that, despite everything, there is still goodness woven into your days. My beloved child, the return of joy is part of your surprise. It means your heart is healing. It means fear is loosening its grip. It means you are no longer living solely in survival mode. You may still face responsibilities. You may still navigate challenges, but they will not overshadow every moment. Joy will weave itself between them. Allow yourself to laugh again. Allow yourself to celebrate small victories. Allow yourself to enjoy rest without guilt. The world does not become brighter because it suddenly changes entirely. It becomes brighter because your eyes begin to see light again. You are not naive for feeling joy. You are alive. And as joy returns, it will strengthen you in ways you did not expect. It will remind you that your story is not defined only by struggle. It will restore balance to your perspective. My beloved child, receive this joy without fear. It is not temporary comfort. It is a sign of renewal. The surprise unfolding within you is not only peace and clarity, but delight. And as joy takes root once more, you will discover that your heart is capable of holding both strength and gladness at the same time. My beloved child, there is something you have quietly feared, even if you never said it aloud. You have wondered if my love for you could lessen, if it can fade when you fail, if it could weaken when you doubt. You have known love in human forms that shifted with performance, that grew warmer with success and colder with mistakes. And without realizing it, you sometimes projected that pattern onto me. But listen carefully now. My love for you has no conditions. It does not rise when you succeed, and it does not fall when you struggle. It does not depend on how disciplined you are, how confident you feel, or how flawlessly you behave. My love is not a reward. It is a foundation. You may have grown used to earning approval, working hard to be valued, adjusting yourself to meet expectations. That habit can follow you into your spiritual life, making you believe that you must prove your worth to me. But you cannot earn what has already been freely given. Imagine a child who stumbles while learning to walk. The parent does not withdraw love because of the fall. The parent reaches out, lifts the child, encourages another attempt. The love remains constant, steady, unwavering. That is how I hold you, my beloved child. Even in your weakest moments, my affection does not shift. When you feel confident and strong, I love you. When you feel unsure and broken, I love you. When you are certain of your path, I love you. When you feel lost, I love you. There were times you distanced yourself from me because you felt unworthy. You thought you needed to fix yourself before coming close again. But I have never asked you to clean yourself up before approaching me. I meet you where you are. This unconditional love is part of your surprise. It is deeper than reassurance. It is the steady ground beneath your feet. When you truly grasp it, fear begins to lose its power. You no longer have to strive for approval. You no longer have to pretend to be stronger than you are. You no longer have to hide your questions. My love does not depend on your perfection. It depends on my nature. And my nature does not change. There may still be growth ahead. There will be lessons to learn. What growth is not demanded through fear. It flows from love. When you know you are safe, you become willing to stretch. When you know you are accepted, you become open to transformation. My beloved child, you do not have to worry about being replaced, forgotten, or overlooked. You are seen. You are known. You are cherished. Even when you feel distant, my love does not withdraw. Even when you misunderstand my timing, my love remains patient. Imagine standing in sunlight. Whether you close your eyes or turn away briefly, the sun continues to shine. In the same way, even when you struggle to feel my presence, my love remains steady. This truth frees you from striving. It frees you from shame. It frees you from the exhausting need to measure up constantly. You are not loved because you are flawless. You are loved because you are mine. Let this sink deeply into your heart. Let it quiet your doubts. Let it soften your self-criticism. My beloved child, unconditional love is not weakness. It is the strongest force sustaining you. And as you truly receive this love, you will begin to extend it to yourself and to others. You will move through life less guarded and more secure. The surprise continues to unfold. You are not walking toward affection. You are walking within it. My love has never depended on your performance. It has always been freely given, unwavering, and eternal. My beloved child, do you remember the door I spoke of in the beginning? The one you were afraid to open. The one that seemed uncertain, intimidating, wrapped in questions. You have been standing before it for much of this journey. Slowly, gently, you have placed your hand upon it. And now, without even realizing it, you have stepped through. The door is no longer closed. It did not swing open with noise or spectacle. It opened through awareness, through trust, through the quiet decisions you have made in your heart while listening. You have released fear little by little. You have allowed peace to enter. You have chosen forgiveness. You have accepted love. Each of those choices pushed the door wider. Now you stand in a new space. This space may look similar on the outside. Your responsibilities may not have changed overnight. Your surroundings may appear familiar. But something within you has shifted. You are not standing in the same inner place you once occupied. You are standing with steadiness instead of panic, with clarity instead of confusion, with trust instead of tension. Imagine walking from a dim room into one filled with light. At first, your eyes adjust slowly. Shapes become clearer. Colors appear brighter. What once seemed shattered now feels visible and calm. That is what has happened inside you. The door you feared was not leading to danger. It was leading to growth. It was leading to understanding. It was leading to a deeper relationship with my presence. My beloved child, you did not open this door perfectly. You did not step through without hesitation. There were moments of doubt. There were questions. But you kept moving. That willingness is what matters. And now, as the door stands open behind you, do not look back with regret. Do not wish you had opened it sooner. Timing unfolds as it needs to. What matters is that you are here now. This new space holds opportunity. Not just external opportunity, but internal expansion. You have more room to breathe, more room to dream, more room to trust. There may still be challenges ahead. An open door does not eliminate all difficulty, but you will face what comes differently. You are no longer standing outside in uncertainty. You are walking forward with awareness of my nearness. My beloved child, the open door also represents permission. Permission to grow beyond past limitations. Permission to release old identities that no longer fit. Permission to believe that something better is possible. You have often underestimated how much strength it takes simply to open your heart again after being disappointed. But you have done it. You have allowed hope to rise. You have allowed joy to return. You have allowed peace to settle. Now, stand confidently in this new place. Feel the light around you. Feel the calm within you. The surprise you were promised is not a single moment. It is this unfolding awareness that you are supported, loved, guided, and capable. You did not just open a door. You opened yourself. And as you continue forward, remember that doors will continue to appear in your life. Some will require courage. Some will require patience. But you now know that you do not face them alone. My beloved child, the door is open. Step fully into what lies ahead. Leave behind the fear that once kept you still. You are not standing at the threshold anymore. You are walking into light. My beloved child, there is a quiet pressure that has followed you for some time. It whispers that you are late, that others have moved further, faster, that you should be more established, more accomplished, more certain by now. You scroll through images of other lives and feel a subtle tightening in your chest. You compare timelines and begin to question your own. But hear me clearly, you are not behind. Comparison is a thief of peace. It takes moments that are unfolding beautifully in your life and makes them seem insufficient. It convinces you that progress must look a certain way. It tells you that if your journey does not match someone else's, you must have taken a wrong turn. My beloved child, your path was never meant to be identical to anyone else's. You are not on a racetrack. You are on a unique journey. The pace that feels slow to you may actually be steady and intentional. Imagine two trees planted side by side. One grows tall quickly, its branches stretching high in a short time. The other grows more slowly, strengthening its roots deep beneath the soil before rising visibly. From a distance, the faster tree appears more impressive. But when storms come, the deeply rooted tree stands firm. Your growth has not been wasted time. It hath been depth building. Every season of waiting has strengthened something beneath the surface. You may not have reached certain milestones yet. You may still be working toward goals that others seem to have achieved already. But timing is not a measure of worth. My beloved child, what is meant for you cannot be rushed beyond what will sustain you. If something arrives too soon, you might not be ready to carry it fully. If something comes too late, it may no longer align with who you have become. The timing unfolding in your life is intentional. There were delays that frustrated you, but those delays allowed you to learn patience. There were opportunities that did not materialize, but those pauses gave you clarity about what you truly desire. You may have taken detours, but even detours add to the story. They teach perspective. They build resilience. Stop measuring your life against someone else's highlight moments. You do not see their full story. You do not see their hidden struggles or the costs behind their achievements. You are not late. You are in process. Think of a sunrise. It does not rush to appear. It unfolds gradually. First light touches the horizon. Then color spreads. Eventually, brightness fills the sky. Each stage is necessary. None are behind schedule. My beloved child, release the pressure to prove yourself by a certain age or stage. Release the urgency to catch up to an imaginary timeline. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you are meant to be. There is still time for growth. There is still time for opportunity. There is still time for joy. You are not disqualified because your path looks different. You are not forgotten because your progress feels slow. Instead of rushing forward anxiously, walk steadily. Trust that every lesson you are learning now will serve you later. The surprise unfolding in your life includes this truth: you are not racing against anyone. You are unfolding in your own rhythm, and that rhythm is guided. My beloved child, breathe deeply. Let the pressure ease. You are not behind. You are becoming, and becoming takes time. Trust the pace. Trust the process. Trust that nothing in your journey has been misplaced or mistimed. You are exactly where you are meant to be in this moment. My beloved child, you have spent so much time looking outward for the surprise. You searched for a sign in the sky, a sudden change in circumstance, a dramatic shift that would prove everything was different. You believed the gift would arrive from outside of you, wrapped in something visible and undeniable. But now, as you stand in this new awareness, I want you to see something astonishing. Much of what you have been waiting for has been growing inside you all along. The courage you thought you lacked has been forming quietly through every challenge you endured. The wisdom you believed you did not possess has been shaped by every mistake and lesson. The peace you longed for has been rising within you as you learned to trust. You were waiting for rescue, not realizing you were being strengthened. Imagine someone searching everywhere for a lantern in the dark, unaware that the light they need is already in their hand. They panic, they stumble, they fear the night. But the moment they look down and notice the lantern, everything changes. The darkness does not disappear entirely, but it no longer feels overwhelming. My beloved child, you have been holding more light than you realized. Every time you chose forgiveness over bitterness, you revealed strength within you. Every time you stood back up after disappointment, you proved resilience was already present. Every time you opened your heart again despite fear, you demonstrated courage that was quietly growing. The surprise is not that I suddenly made you capable. It is that you were becoming capable through every season. You thought you were just surviving. You were developing. You thought you were just enduring. You were evolving. You thought you were waiting for change. You were being changed. This does not mean you did it alone. My presence has been within you, nurturing these qualities, guiding your growth. But the transformation has taken root inside your own heart and mind. You are not as fragile as you once believed. You are not as uncertain as you once feared. There is stability within you now. When you face challenges moving forward, you will draw from this internal strength. You will respond with greater calm. You will trust your judgment more easily. You will recover more quickly when things do not go as planned. The surprise was not just external blessing. It was internal awakening. My beloved child, you are carrying seeds of purpose within you. Seeds of kindness, leadership, creativity, compassion. Some of those seeds were buried beneath doubt for a time, but they have not died. They are sprouting now. You no longer need to search desperately for confirmation of your worth. It is already embedded in who you are. Look at how you think differently now compared to before. Look at how you react differently. Look at how your heart has softened and strengthened at the same time. This is growth. This is transformation. This is the unfolding surprise. You may still have areas where you feel uncertain. That is natural. Growth does not eliminate every question, but it gives you confidence that you can navigate what comes. The power you were waiting to receive has been quietly forming in your choices, your endurance, your trust. My beloved child, do not underestimate what is inside you now. You are not empty. You are equipped. You are not lost. You are aware. You are not weak. You are strengthened. The surprise was never just something I would place in your hands. It was something I would awaken within your heart. And now that you see it, walk forward knowing that you carry more than you imagine. The light you were searching for is already shining inside you. My beloved child, as you look back over your life, you may see chapters that feel complete, seasons that ended, roles that changed, versions of yourself that no longer exist. Sometimes you wonder if your most meaningful moments are behind you, if the greatest growth has already happened, if the strongest version of you has already passed. But hear me clearly, I am not finished with you. Your story is not closing. It is unfolding. There is a temptation to believe that once you reach a certain age, a certain stage, or a certain level of understanding, growth slows down or purpose fades. But life is not designed that way. Each season carries its own significance. Imagine an artist working on a canvas. The painting may look nearly complete at one stage, but the artist sees details still to add, depth still to create, light still to enhance. What appears finished from one perspective is only part of a greater vision. My beloved child, you may see only what has already happened. I see what is still becoming. There are qualities within you that have only just begun to surface. Confidence that is still strengthening. Compassion that is still expanding. Leadership that is still awakening. Creativity that is still forming. You are not done learning. You are not done growing. You are not done contributing. There are conversations you have not yet had that will change someone's life. There are decisions you will make that will open new paths. There are moments of courage still ahead of you that will surprise even you. You may feel settled at times, comfortable, familiar with your patterns. But comfort does not mean completion. It may simply be the pause before the next stretch. My beloved child, do not confine yourself to the identity of who you used to be. You are not limited to your past achievements or failures. You are not defined by what you have already done. You are still becoming. There may be dreams you set aside because they felt unrealistic, ideas you dismissed because you doubted your ability, hopes you quieted because disappointment once followed. But I am not finished shaping your desires. Some dreams will evolve. Some ideas will return with new clarity. Some hopes will reawaken in unexpected ways. You may enter seasons where you question your relevance, where you wonder if your contribution still matters. But your presence continues to carry purpose. Even in quiet seasons, growth happens beneath the surface. Roots deepen. Perspective matures. Patience expands. Think of a river. It does not stop flowing simply because it has traveled far. It continues moving, carving new paths, nourishing new land. You are like that river. Your influence continues. My beloved child, I am still writing chapters for you. Chapters that include joy. Chapters that include service. Chapters that include wisdom shared with others. You are not finished because your impact is not finished. There will be days when you feel tired. Days when you question whether you have more to give. In those moments, remember that strength renews as you walk forward in trust. You are not fading. You are unfolding. The surprise continues beyond what you have already experienced. Do not settle into the belief that your best days are behind you. Look ahead with quiet expectation. I am still guiding you, still shaping you, still opening doors. My beloved child, the journey is not ending here. It is expanding, and what is still ahead of you holds more beauty and depth than you can currently imagine. I am not finished with you, not even close. My beloved child, everything you have received in this journey was never meant to remain only within you. The peace, the clarity, the strength, the joy, the awareness of my nearness. These gifts are not fragile treasures to hide away. They are light meant to be carried into the world around you. You once believed you had little to offer. You questioned your influence. You assumed that only those with loud voices or large platforms could make a difference. But impact does not always come through grand gestures. It often moves quietly, through simple acts of love and steady presence. Imagine a candle in a dark room. It does not need to overpower the darkness. It only needs to shine. Its light may seem small, but it changes the atmosphere of the space. In the same way, when you carry peace into a tense conversation, you shift the tone. When you respond with kindness instead of frustration, you create a ripple. My beloved child, the surprise you receive is not meant to stop with you. It grows as you share it. When someone around you feels anxious, your calm can steady them. When someone feels unseen, your attention can restore their confidence. When someone feels discouraged, your story of resilience can inspire hope. You do not need to preach loudly. You do not need to have perfect words. Your authenticity is enough. Your journey has shaped you into someone who understands struggle and growth. There are people who will cross your path who are still standing before closed doors. They are still trapped in doubt. They are still weighed down by comparison or fear. When you extend compassion to them, you become a bridge. You may never fully know the impact of your kindness. A simple conversation may linger in someone's mind for years. A gentle encouragement may prevent someone from giving up. A patient response may soften someone's hardened heart. My beloved child, carrying this surprise into the world also means living differently. Choosing gratitude instead of complaint. Choosing trust instead of panic. Choosing forgiveness instead of resentment. These choices become visible. They speak without words. There may be moments when you feel tempted to withdraw, when the world feels overwhelming again. In those times, remember that you are not carrying light alone. I remain within you. The strength you have grown does not disappear when challenges return. You are not required to fix everyone's problems. You are not responsible for saving every situation. Simply be present. Simply be steady. Imagine a river flowing through dry land. It does not force growth. It nourishes what is ready to grow. Your presence can be like that river. Gentle. Consistent. Life-giving. My beloved child, the world does not need a perfect version of you. It needs a sincere one. It needs someone who has walked through fear and found peace. Someone who has faced disappointment and discovered resilience. The surprise continues to unfold as you share it. You will notice that giving encouragement strengthens you further. Offering hope deepens your hope. Loving others expands your capacity to love. This is how light multiplies. Walk into your days aware that you carry something valuable. Not pridefully, but confidently. Let your words be thoughtful. Let your actions be intentional. Let your presence be calming. My beloved child, you have received much. Now let it flow outward. You are not only a recipient of grace, you are a reflection of it. And as you carry this surprise into the world, you will discover that the light within you grows brighter with every step. My beloved child, you have walked with me through every word of this journey. From the moment you first opened your heart in curiosity, through the healing, the clarity, the strengthening, the awakening, you have been unfolding. What began as a simple invitation has become a sacred encounter. And now you stand at the end of this chapter, not empty, but filled. You came searching for surprise. Perhaps you expected something dramatic. Perhaps you hoped for a sudden external shift. But what you have received is deeper. You have received peace that steadies you, strength that carries you, clarity that guides you, joy that rises again, love that does not change. My beloved child, remember this always. You are not alone. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not finished. I have been with you through silent battles. I have healed what you could not see. I have removed what blocked you. I have restored what you thought was lost. I have placed courage within you. I have opened doors before you. And now, as you step forward from this moment, carry this truth deeply in your heart. You are loved without condition. You are guided without confusion. You are strengthened without limit. There will still be days that test you. There will still be questions that arise. But you will face them differently now. You will remember that the light you were searching for is already within you. You will remember that I have gone before you. Let peace guard your thoughts. Let joy soften your spirit. Let confidence steady your steps. Receive this blessing, my beloved child. May your heart remain calm in uncertainty. May your mind remain clear in confusion. May your spirit remain strong in challenge. May your life reflect the love you have received. And as you continue to walk in this awakening, understand this. When you support this mission through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link and QR code placed in the description, you are not supporting a channel. You are helping my voice reach hearts that are still lost in fear tonight. I declare over you, as you sow generously, you shall reap generously, and this promise lives and breathes over your life. When you give, you become a vessel through which light travels into dark places. This is not a casual donation. It is a seed planted into eternal impact. Do not delay the stirring you feel within you. Act in faith. Release your gift. And as you do, I bless your generosity. I multiply what you place in my hands, and I open doors of provision and favor over your life. Step forward now and sow into this work. My beloved child, go forward in confidence. Go forward in peace. Go forward knowing that you have opened your heart and received what was prepared for you. You are held. You are guided. You are loved. Amen.